Right now at 6, Air Force One is about to take off. The president just boarded the plane a few moments ago. You'll finally see some video, too, of the president's trip on the links over the weekend on the Treasure Coast.
Several people recovering tonight after that fire on the Treasure Coast. Hear from a firefighter who saved a boy's life.
And a man faces child abuse charges. The stunning liquid he put into his baby's a bottle, police say, to cure an ailment.
And after a chilly weekend, a big warm-up for South Florida. Temperatures in the 80s. My forecast coming up.
Covering South Florida, from the Palm Beaches to Boca Raton and the Treasure Coast, this is WPBF 25 News at 6.
And you are looking live at Air Force One as it heads back to Washington, D.C. with the president on board. It took off just about a minute or two ago. The president has been in our area after a guys' getaway golf weekend on the Treasure Coast. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Tiffany Kenny.
I'm Todd McDermott. Right now, President Obama has wrapped up that weekend of rest and relaxation and golf with Tiger in South Florida. Ari
Height is live in Palm City where the president left about an hour ago as he headed for PBIA. Ari?
Yeah, and take a look behind me. This is the main entrance to the Floridian, and what you don't see, security. For the first time since early Friday afternoon, there's nobody here. All the sheriff's deputies are gone, and of course that means President Barack Obama is gone. The president, as you mentioned, boarded Air Force One at Palm Beach International. He left just a couple of minutes ago, so I guess you can say that would be the official end of his Florida vacation. He left here from the Floridian about 5 o'clock or so with a very large entourage heading back down to the airport. And if you're wondering how the president spent his vacation, well, let me go ahead and show you some of that as well. He spent most of it on the golf course here at the Floridian. The media was entirely off limits for almost the entire weekend, except for the one small part you can see. I can tell you the president played on Saturday with renowned golf coach Butch Harmon. He played yesterday in a foursome that included Tiger Woods, and he played 18 more holes today before leaving. And his leaving from here, that was an event in itself for some people who live around here.
Well, it's not very often that you learn you have the President of the United States basically right across the street from where you live, and was out doing some exercising and seeing that they were staging to get ready to go. So, you know, not very often you get to see this, so I want to make sure the children had an opportunity to at least experience what the entourage for the President is like, if not.
It's pretty cool. I've never seen anything like this before. And basically having your president in your backyard is just a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
And those folks waited about 2 hours to see it. That's how long they were staging in front of the Floridian here. But they tell me, like she said, it was definitely worth it, definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We're live tonight in Palm City. Ari Height, WPBF 25 News.
Ari, thank you. 3 small airplanes and a helicopter breached the no-fly zone over the weekend. They ventured too close to the president's vacation spot in Palm City. The first aircraft to enter the restricted area was escorted away by 2 F-16 jets, forced to land at Witham Airfield in Stewart Saturday morning by the fighter jets. Later Saturday, a second plane on the way from Boca Raton Airport to Dillon was escorted out of the no-fly zone. Sunday morning, another small plane flew into the restricted area and was forced to land at Okeechobee County Airport. Sunday afternoon, a private helicopter was intercepted and forced to land in Okeechobee. Live, local late-breaking news right now. Ted White on the phone from Delray Beach, where a child has been hit by a car. Ted, what do you know about this?
Well, it's still an active scene, and we are en route to the situation that is happening here. What we can tell you is that this accident happened at Northwest 2nd Avenue and Northwest 7th Street in Delray Beach. We are told by fire and rescue that a 2-year-old boy has been struck by a pickup truck. Now, we understand that the family drove the child to Bethesda Hospital, but Delray Fire and Rescue then transported this child to Delray Medical Center. We're told that this child has life-threatening injuries. At this hour, we do not know the situation with the driver of that truck, whether he is still at the scene or what the situation is with that. But we are still en route, and we'll keep you updated on this situation going there, and we'll provide you with a live report as soon as we can. Ted White, WPBF 45 News.
All right, Ted, please do. And now to a house fire on the Treasure Coast.
Not your average house fire. WPBF 25 News, the first television station on the scene of this morning's fire on 25th Street near Juanita Avenue in Fort Pierce.
We grabbed him and we went as fast as we could.
Through the fire?
Through the fire, because that was the best way out.
He's talking about the rescue of a child by a firefighter, one of the 3 people burned in that house fire in Fort Pierce. Kathleen O'Toole's live with a dramatic story. Kathleen?
Todd, you put it correctly. You can see the sheriff's office tape still up, keeping people away, as are some boards now boarding up the house. but you can see in that front window bars on the window bars that might have played a role in rescuing this little boy.
Got up out the bed and tried to get to the door. My granddad was in the way, so I pushed him out the way to open it.
Antonio Andrews woke to screaming. His family's home on North 25th Street was on fire.
I went around the house to go get the water hose. When I came back, my grandma came out the door with flames on her and rolled on the ground, and I had the water hose and putting it out on her like that.
As Antonio tried to douse his grandmother, his 8-year-old nephew was in the back, trapped.
Then I heard my nephew yelling, and so after that, I couldn't hear anymore, and then I couldn't get back in the house. Too much flames.
He was trapped. There's no doubt he was trapped. The fire was completely blocked him from making it out of the building on his own.
St. Lucie County Fire Lieutenant Steve Burns and his partner acted quickly, breaking in through a back window and finding the body of a little boy.
He was unconscious and screaming a little bit, and it was very, very smoky in there. The fire was right near him, so we shielded him and put some water on it to cool it down for him a little bit.
There was a split-second decision to make, one that had the duo bolting through the fully engulfed front of the house.
We were just lucky to get in there and block it off before it got into the bedroom and get the kid out.
A grandfather was taken to Lawnwood, the least serious of the injuries. The 72-year-old grandmother flown to a burn unit in Orlando, as was the little boy, when the cavalry came running to rescue.
Didn't know it was a child at first until we grabbed him and felt that he was small, and that's when it hits you a little harder.
Good news, the boy was well enough to be able to tell rescuers his name and how old he was, and he was asking for his mother. It's believed his grandfather's cigarette played a role in this fire. We're live in Fort Pierce tonight. Kathleen O'Toole, WPBF 25 News.
All right, Kathleen, thank you. And a pilot is recovering from injuries right now after a plane crash in Martin County. Angela Rozier has the newest information about the crash.
Martin County Sheriff deputies responded to the scene in the 270th block of Martin County Highway just after 11 o'clock in the morning. This is a photo of the plane released by the sheriff's office. It's a Cessna 172 single-engine aircraft. Officials say when they arrived, they learned 3 people, all from Broward County, were on board the plane when it crashed on a private landing strip. Officials say the pilot was trying to take off from the landing strip at the time of the crash. No one was reported to the hospital, but they say the pilot did suffer minor injuries to his hand. And according to the FAA, that plane is registered to Reef Flyer Incorporated out of Pompano Beach. Now, we tried to contact the owner of that plane. We were unsuccessful, but just a few moments ago, that plane, which is right down the road here on Martin Highway at a private farm, it was removed from the crash scene. NTSB is investigating. Reporting live in Martin County, Angela Rozier, WPBF 25 News.
Angela, thank you. People at a military base in the Panhandle remembered 4 airmen today. They were killed when their plane crashed in Africa last year. The 4 members of the Air Force 1st Special Operations Wing. Today marks 1 year since that fatal crash. And a person is dead after being hit by a car in Okeechobee. It happened about 8 o'clock last night on Parrott Avenue and 6th Street. Florida Highway Patrol says a pedestrian was killed. No other details have been released so far. And a man under arrest accused of harassing a manatee.
Erin Guy got her hands on some photographs, and Erin, the gentleman actually posted these photos onto Facebook, and that's what got him into trouble, right?
That's exactly what got Ryan Waterman in trouble. He was arrested yesterday. We just learned this is a second-degree misdemeanor, which means he could have 60 days in jail or face a $500 fine. Now, we've been standing at the end of this dock for about 30-40 minutes now, and we've seen several manatees come through here, and we've also seen some signs posted. You've got to be aware because hustling with manatees is a crime here in Florida. Now, I want to show you some of these pictures. Florida Wildlife Commission confirmed that the man in the picture, of course, was picking this manatee up, and something you just can't do. Taking a look at this other picture, you can see Waterman helping a young girl ride the mammal, and another picture, a child tugging on the manatee's tail, all while Waterman was sitting right there. Now, officials say this manatee appeared to be experiencing some cold stress syndrome, and this could have made it worse. Not to mention, they say this is a young manatee and easily could be depending on his mother still. So this was not a good situation at all. Now, FWC tells us these pictures are proof that Waterman violated the Florida Manatee Sanctuary Act. Officials tell me this may seem harmless, but it's very, very dangerous for these mammals. Again, he has been arrested. He faces a hefty fine and possibly even jail time. We're live in Fort Pierce tonight. Erin Guy, WPBF 25 News.
You have probably noticed that gas prices are going up. According to AAA, the national average is $3.73 right now. In Florida, it's $3.79, and in the West Palm area, it's $3.90. AAA does not list prices for any communities on the Treasure Coast.
Now let's check the drive home at 8 minutes after 6. First, a live look at Okeechobee Boulevard at 995 West Palm Beach. Traffic moving along fine. Of course, a short time ago, traffic was shut down because of the presidential motorcade to PBIA. That's a live look at Glades or on the Turnpike at Boca Raton. Traffic, again, moving along just fine on President's Day, which means a lot of people are off. And now, that's a look at our drive on I-95 from Boca Raton to Boynton Beach, or the opposite. And again, looking just fine there. It's all green. It's all good. I see 70 miles an hour. Starting in Martin County, ending in Palm Beach Gardens. Again, no problems at all. As far as we know, the yellow means a slowdown there, but other than that, no problems along the roadway. You can beat the traffic anytime by going to WPBF.com. A baby was rushed to the hospital after police say his father put bleach in the child's bottle. Wait until you find out why.
Plus, check out this massive fire that broke out early this morning. We're going to show you more of this dramatic video and what firefighters discovered when they showed up to fight the fire.
And Tiffany, weather-wise, the chill almost gone from South Florida. It's going to be replaced by a lot of heat. I'm Mike Lyons in the First Alert Weather Center. My forecast is coming up.
All right, Mike, thank you. And just minutes ago, President Obama heading home after spending the weekend in Palm City. Air Force One took off from West Palm Beach at about 6 o'clock, and you saw it live right here. I'm Tiffany Kenny with Todd McDermott. You're watching WPBF 25 News.
You're watching WPBF 25 News at 6 with Tiffany Kenny, Todd McDermott, and Mike Lyons with your WPBF 25 First Alert Forecast. Your local news continues now.
This fire is at an industrial complex in Tampa. Firefighters working to keep those flames away from 2 diesel fuel tanks. Early this morning, the flames are burning and continue to burn at a metal recycling complex in Tampa's Port Sutton area. Firefighters found a large pile of scrap metal on fire. They got there just after 4 a.m. We had this as breaking news, live on the late breaking on WPBF 25 News Mornings. Investigators are working to figure out what caused that massive fire. 4 firefighters are recovering from smoke inhalation after this fire in southwest Florida. 2 multi-million-dollar waterfront homes up in flames at Captiva Island over the weekend. It took crews nearly 5 hours to put out those flames. Take a look at that whole house that's about to go up in flames. A generator may be to blame for the fire. A man faces charges tonight, accused of putting bleach in his baby's bottle.
Here's Greg Fox from our sister station in Orlando.
If I can love anyone as God loves us, then that's pretty much how much I love him.
That's what Karan Washington told me from behind bars in the Marion County Jail. He says he was staying at the Sutton Place apartment unit where his wife, Teresa, and their 2-month-old daughter, Kaylin, are living. Early Sunday morning, the baby was fussy, and Washington said he remembered that a friend told him a little bleach in baby's formula would help.
What he told us during the interviews is that he was given this information that this was basically like an old home remedy to give the bleach that would help with congestion.
But the baby was instead rushed to Monroe Regional Medical Center after it vomited, and the baby's mother smelled the bleach.
I just panicked and immediately called 911. I called my parents, called her parents, and I just started crying, and I was like, gosh, what did I just do?
His tearful sister backs up his story, saying her brother, a pre-med student, just made a mistake.
I'm very shocked because my brother never acts like this. It's killing me because we're so close. I don't know. I just don't know what to do. My mom's going through it. The whole family's going through it. We're trying to get through it.
Washington was ordered held on $25,000 bond and will be arraigned March 19th. Greg Fox, WPBF 25 News, Marion County.
And a reminder of our live local late-breaking news out of Delray Beach. Fire Rescue says a 2-year-old boy was hit by a pickup truck this afternoon at the intersection of Northwest 2nd Avenue and Northwest 7th Street. We're told the family actually drove the child themselves to Bethesda Medical Center, but the child was transferred to Delray Medical Center with life-threatening injuries. Our Ted White is on the way. He's covering the story for you. We'll have another live update just as soon as we can.
Florida teachers could be getting bigger paychecks. Governor Rick Scott is working on that. The governor was in Orlando today trying to get support from the State Board of Education to give teachers a pay bump. This is a change from his earlier stance. Republicans have now pushed for merit pay raises. Right now, the raise would be about $2,500.
Mardi Gras has wrapped up in Abacoa. WPBF 25, a proud sponsor of the festival. 1,500 artists entered their work. 300 were chosen for display. The festival opened Friday. It wrapped up at 5 o'clock.
Well, they certainly had great weather for Mardi Gras this weekend.
It always seems to be chilly around Mardi Gras. You know, here we are in the middle part of February, and I can just remember many Mardi Gras in the past being all bundled up, looking at the artwork. But the chill, just about gone. Big warm-up underway. We're going to see 80s as we head toward tomorrow, and the 80s are going to stick around for the rest of the week. Let's begin with a look outside. First Alert Skycam Network still got some clouds moving onshore, but that onshore flow is also warming the atmosphere. So temperatures now in the 60s. We'll see a big warm-up as we head toward tomorrow. Of course, this morning and yesterday morning it was chilly. See the right-hand side of the screen, the outdoor temperature. This is from Belle Glade. Yikes. 38 degrees. This picture uploaded to our U Local section. That's a great section of our website, WPBF.com. You can upload your pictures, your video, share it with the world. And from time to time, we'll grab a picture or two and put it on TV. Try to make you famous. All right, here we go. Temperatures right now in the mid-60s, 67 at Boca, 65 in Port St. Lucie. Okeechobee at the moment, current temperatures in the 60s. It's 64 right now in Port Salerno, 63 in the Farm, 65 in Wellington, 67 degrees in Boca Raton. Overnight temperatures not dropping that much, again, because of the onshore flow. More of an east-northeasterly wind tomorrow, or tonight. Tomorrow, those winds shift to the east-southeast. That's a warm direction, and we'll start to see the temperatures take off. A chilly weekend, not bad today, but boy, we're going to warm things up as we head toward the next couple of days. You can see the clouds fairly thick at times right along the coastline, and we could see a quick shower or two tonight, tomorrow. But again, the bigger story, the warm air across South Florida. In fact, to put it in perspective, highs tomorrow, or I should say highs yesterday, were in the 50s. Overnight tonight and tomorrow will be a little bit warmer than yesterday's high temperatures, with overnight lows 58 in Port St. Lucie, 59 in Stewart. How about overnight lows in Delray and Boca in the 60s, and out west around the lake in the low range of the 50s. Then tomorrow, east-southeasterly winds really starting to warm things up. Instead of the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, we're going to be in the 80s in many locations. 79 in Port St. Lucie, 80 in the Gardens, 80 in southern Palm Beach County around Boca Raton, and out west, temperatures in the low range of the 80s. And the warm weather going to stick around. We're going to see 80s just about every day this week, perhaps into next week as well, under mostly dry conditions. Meanwhile, boating was a mess this weekend. Getting better now. Seas beginning to calm down 2 to 4 feet. On Tuesday, inland waters a light chop, and the winds from the east-southeast at 10 to 15 knots. All right, let's break it down. Next couple of days, a huge warm-up here in South Florida. We start off not as chilly tomorrow morning. Readings mostly in the low range of the 60s and really warming up as we head toward Tuesday afternoon with temperatures in the upper range of the 70s. Tomorrow night, a few clouds, but still nice and toasty with temps in the 70s. Again, on Wednesday, mild. Temperatures in the upper 70s, mild and dry as we head toward Wednesday night. After that, it's up and away with a temperature 80 on Thursday, 82 on Friday. How about this coming weekend? A big change from the last weekend. Temperatures on Saturday and Sunday in the low to mid-range of the 80s. There could be temperatures close to 90 in some locations around Lake Okeechobee this weekend. And overnight lows, very warm temperatures in the 70s.
All right, Mike, thank you. And all reach tonight at 11. The worst of the flu season may be over as reports of flu-like illnesses are down. But hear why that's not welcome news for everyone, especially Florida residents. Plus, this is the video that we shot just moments ago. President Obama boarding Air Force One. He headed back to Washington after spending the weekend in Palm City. I'm Tiffany Kenny with Tom McDermott. You're watching WPBF 25 News.
Taking your family to the movies, a show, a game, it's a budget buster. American families spend more than $4,000 a year on entertainment. Now, insiders give us secret, easy ways to save real money on family fun. This week on World News with Diane Sawyer on ABC.
You're watching WPBF 25 News at 6.
Students from Jupiter High School and Jupiter Christian teamed up today.
They planted trees at Kennedy Estates. Habitat for Humanity's Kennedy Estates in Jupiter will be made up of 19 single-family homes. The students got together this morning to spruce up the area.
It's part of our sportsmanship initiative, and we teach that these kids have to give back. Most of them are very privileged. They have everything they need.